I'm Sonda Kearns, the Executive Director at Care for Nature Zambia, which is an environmental organization working to promote sustainable development and conservation together with human rights in Zambia. What I think about media freedom, freedom of expression, and digital right. In this era that we're saying it's an era of technology, let me start with media freedom. Especially for us who are working in the area of advocacy and promoting good governance, it's very important for us to disseminate our information. And one way in which we disseminate information is through mass media, which also includes the use of social media. However, if you look at media freedoms in Zambia, based on the 2022 Human Rights Report, there are still some restrictions that were observed in that sometimes government or the implementers of our legal and policy frameworks and also the duty bearers, they may not be too tolerant to criticism, especially where they feel that it is politically driven. In terms of freedom of speech, usually when you're communicating through media, it may be written, it may be oral, and so when you are communicating a message, you have to speak freely without the fear of being intimidated or fear of how your message is going to be received, because it's through the freedom of speech that people are able to even address issues which sometimes government may not want to hear. For example, I'll speak of Luapula province where we are based. We've had issue of illegal mining for a long time. We've had issues of sugilite. And also in the past, we've had issues of mukula. These are some of the issues that when you follow most of the time, you'll find that there are politically exposed persons involved. So when you want to communicate, you have conscious of how is the message going to be received. But where media freedom is observed or freedom of speech is observed, people are supposed to communicate freely and not fear to be intimidated or to be labeled as someone who is supporting the opposition political parties. In terms of digital rights, well, we can say this is an era where information, communication, and technology is being promoted because it is playing a significant role, not just for communicating, but also even for driving social enterprise. You'll find that there's a lot of things, including education, happening in the digital space. However, it is through the digital space that people also face forms of abuse where people are labeled, where people are insulted, where people meet all sorts of things which may prevent them from enjoying their human rights or their freedoms. I'll give an example of Zambia. There are so many men who are involved in politics, and this is evident at parliamentary level. But when you look at women, you'll find that there are less women who are actively involved in leadership positions, especially in the political space. And the digital space has contributed because women suffer a lot of abuses when it comes to the use of social media. And also when they're being labeled, the social audits, these things are often happening in the digital space. And so there is urgent need to ensure that we have safe spaces, and where people are suffering intimidation, they should be able to report to ZICTA, and ZICTA takes action, and not when they report, they don't get a feedback or nothing gets done.